Says we're live. All right, guys, we are live. So today is Monday, so we kind of messed with things a little bit here. I was a little late to getting back home to record for Monday Night Raw for the live stream. So instead of doing a live stream, I decided that we might as well do a Monday Night Raw live review of everything. So it's been a long day, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into everything. So I took down some notes onto what I have to say. So before we even get to anything about Raw itself, I want to talk about the talent meeting that happened. The fuck? There we go. I want to talk about the talent meeting that Triple H had in the back. This was hours before Raw went live. This is either the second or third meeting that Triple H has had to ensure the talent that Vince McMahon is not in charge of creative whatsoever. Also, my notes are on my phone. Actually, you know what? The best part is, let me see if my freaking cool. My notes are saved onto my iPad here, so I can actually get them all. I can actually read them off my iPad here. Sorry, this is a weird start, but I didn't think about that. So that way I don't have to look down. I can actually kind of look at what I'm reading right here. So let's get back on topic, okay? So with the talent meeting that Triple H had, I appreciate what Triple H is trying to do with his efforts there. However, though, that is that the talent, they want to believe in Triple H, they really do. But with how quickly that Vince McMahon has come back into so much power, and that the talent of WWE, they're not stupid. They are reading the same type of news that you and I read on social media. And it was said that Vince McMahon either asked or may have made a play to get back in charge of creative. So that he wants that position back. I mean, you don't even have to read the wrestling news to know that Vince McMahon wants to be back in creative. It's that simple. This is the man's product. This is the man's whole identity that he's had for so many years. And so a part of him probably feels lost without it. And so, he wants that position back. But Triple H is still in charge right now. But as we've all said, and we all know, how long does Triple H actually still have that power of being in charge there? And that the rest of the roster has got to be fearful of that too, because they want to put their entire trust in Triple H. But the WWE ship has crashed into an iceberg, and that iceberg is called Vince McMahon. And they're just basically doing damage control right now, as they did before they sent Vince McMahon packing. They're trying to keep the WWE ship afloat. But it just feels like more and more that they are sinking. Just how much longer is Triple H going to really have this power? And, it just appears that there's no stopping Vince McMahon. I mean, things have slowed down for now. But again, this is like the second or third time that Triple H is having this, talent meeting here to, calm the talent down. It's like, it's okay. That everything's under control. Everything's fine. I'm still in charge. You guys are all going to be protected here. It's like, from that one scene of the Naked Gun. I can't remember if it's the first movie, but look it up. It's Leslie Nielsen. Go ahead, and I may have said the first name wrong. I always forget how to pronounce his name. But there's a bunch of explosions happening in the background. He's just like, everything's fine, nothing to see here, folks, nothing to see here. Go on with your business, nothing to see here. It's like everything is happening behind you. The walls are crumbling down, and you're just doing nope, nothing to see. It's okay. It's okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. And I feel bad for, Triple H. I feel bad for, the fans. I feel bad for the talent who were really looking forward to the change that they all wanted. And the change is, just it was there, but for a little bit, but now things are starting to just unravel. They're becoming unglued, whatever phrases that you want to use there. And it absolutely sucks for a lot of them. Um, that's and it just feels like, unfortunately, the more times that Triple H holds these meetings, that the less faith that the staff should have in it. Because the more you do something and you try to convince the staff that everything's fine, the less I would be like, I was like, wait a second, everything's fine. I was like, we just had this meeting, like a week ago. We're doing the same thing, really? I was like, I already heard about the thing that happened with the meeting with SmackDown. The guys told me about what happened, and now we're getting talked about it on Raw. And it's like, I'm pretty sure they had another meeting beforehand about the same thing when Vince was put back in charge of being the chairman of the board, or not the chairman, but when Vince was put back in the board of directors. If I memory serves me correctly, they did the same thing. They had a talent meeting and told the rest of the staff, "Don't worry, Vince is in charge of creative." Yeah, but for how long? So we'll see how long that lasts. Because eventually Triple H is going to lose his power, and then the rest of the staff will probably be begging out of their contract and then wanting to go jump ship to AEW. You never know. That's basically what they were all doing before. So we'll see if they, do it again. But this is the Monday Night Raw review. Usually we always do live streaming with the show, but again, I was a little bit late to coming home to, pop on to the live stream. And also I just decided to just, make a Raw review, a rare occasion here. So we're just going to give a small breakdown. I was thinking about, when I was making this review, I was like, should I go ahead and say how I would book things differently? And I'm like, no. I was like, it's just a review. I was like, I don't need to waste my time really with much. I didn't want to ruin the weekly schedule that I always put out, because I missed SmackDown because it was my dad's birthday, so I didn't get to go live streaming for SmackDown or Rampage. So I didn't want to miss out Raw too. So it's not a live stream, I know, but it is what it is. All right, so let's just go ahead and get down to business, so we can all get through this here. So we opened the show with the Usos coming out, and that they were making a statement saying that the Raw 30th anniversary, they'll have a full-on acknowledgement party for Roman Reigns with all the members of the Bloodline. Now, when they showed that graphic up later on tonight about the acknowledgement party for Roman Reigns, there was no Rikishi up there. There was no no graphic for the Wild Samoans or anything like that. So I guess it's just the regular bloodline there. And so I made this note when I first was watching the show, but I said, will Sami Zayn be allowed to the party, as he's only an honorary Uce? And so I felt that Rikishi or someone would have been like, yo, if this is just all of us as family, why is he here? And I was like, he ain't family. He ain't one of us. But, I kind of was not paying attention. I kind of missed out. I wasn't mentally looking for Sami Zayn when they put up the graphic. So Sami Zayn may or may not be in there. I would have to think that Sami Zayn, especially if it's just the regular members of the bloodline, I would have to think that Sami's going to be involved. Anyways, the Judgment Day interrupted soon after. They basically just said, we're going to take the titles from you. Dominic basically was telling the Usos, you wouldn't last a day in my shoes when I was in jail. And I was like, all right. And then I actually got a little bit excited because Dominic, called out Solo Sikoa for a moment. I thought we were actually going to get Dominic and Solo Sikoa in a matchup. I was like, oh, shit. I was like, that's going to be pretty epic. Dominic took a swing at Solo Sikoa. He took it for a cheap shot. The promo was over. And then it led to a brawl with Finn Balor and Damian Priest brawling with the other Usos. And then, of course, Rhea Ripley stepped in front of Solo Sikoa, who wouldn't hit her. Okay, this is getting ridiculous. Okay, how many times are we going to have to see Rhea Ripley? Come on. Smack me, young boy. You know you want to. Hit me. Be a man or whatnot. And, maybe it's our fault, because we grew up in the generation where, we would see Stephanie McMahon taking pedigree, Stone Cold Stunners, name all the Attitude Era wrestlers that you want. We've seen the women wrestlers get beaten up and taking the bumps, and maybe this generation here, they're just not used to really seeing the women get beat up by the wrestlers. And so that, they don't do it often. So it's just not as accepted. It's just like, it's okay for the women to get hit. I was like, it shows they're just as tough as the men then, Remember, the big spot was freaking Nia Jax taking an RKO, a 619, and something else, I think it was, by Rey Mysterio and Randy Orton. Everyone's like, holy shit, that was cool. Now, some people had a problem with it, but the majority of people were like, holy shit, man, go Nia. And then, just for the fact that we saw some shit like that, fucking cool. Anyways, moving on, Ali, came into this matchup, or not even a matchup. It was a brawl. Ali went to the top rope and jumped down on Solo Sikoa. And they went to commercial break. It was announced that Solo Sikoa and Ali were supposed to be wrestling in a singles matchup. So what they're doing with Ali here is very weird. I don't really understand the whole process about what their giant game plan is for Mustafa Ali. I mean, it's good that the man's getting booked every single week on Raw, and great. But he pretty much gets knocked around every single week. He loses, and you can tell the fans just aren't really caring about Ali here. It's like, what is the big win? Like, what is Ali even doing? Is he just he's just trying to get wins, but he can't do it? I was like, is the big payoff supposed to be that he can win a match? I was like, what is the story here? Doesn't make sense. Anyways, eventually in the matchup later on, Kevin Owens came out and was actually laying waste to the Usos. Later on, Solo Sikoa, won the matchup with the Samoan Spike on Ali, big whoop, as expected. Owens attacked Solo Sikoa after the match, but security, they're not really security. They were like WWE officials, but to shorten it out, they're security. They're doing security jobs. They're basically security. They were holding back Owens to ensure that Owens couldn't, fight the Usos anymore. I guess maybe they're trying to protect the main event of the Royal Rumble of Owens and Roman Reigns. Like, no, you don't want to get hurt here. You're facing Roman Reigns. It's just like, man, okay. I mean, the fans want to see them fight, but whatever. I mean, fight Owens, fight is the whole thing. Anyways, the Usos and Solo Sikoa walk to the back. That's it. There's supposed to be a 6-man elimination matchup. That is our main event. Originally, they said it was like some type of elimination style, and so I thought it was a gauntlet match, as they had last week, was a gauntlet. But apparently that's not the case, but that's later on. Cody Rhodes did announce in his final promo video, or I'm assuming it's his final promo video. I don't see a reason for a part 4 to this video package, but Cody Rhodes has announced that he's going to be returning at the Royal Rumble. I mean, we pretty much all knew that that was going to happen. This is where it was all leading to. I think it would be quite unexpected if Cody Rhodes said, "I won't make it to the Rumble. I'll see you guys at WrestleMania." I would have been like, "Okay." I was like, that would have been weird. But anyways, yeah, we all kind of expected that. We knew that's where it was going down. But anyways, again, I don't think we'll see. I mean, what I think would be pretty cool is if we actually saw Cody Rhodes on the final Raw or SmackDown before the Royal Rumble. I think that'd be pretty cool to be like, man, I've missed you guys so much, and for a stare down with Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns to be like, I'll either be seeing you or Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. I think that'd be pretty cool. If would it be? I mean, you've already given away this. You've already given away the surprise of Cody Rhodes being in the Rumble, so Cody's gonna get a pop regardless. Either way. Moving on, Elias did have an interview backstage saying that how he was going to win the Royal Rumble. Look, I love you, Elias, but that ain't happening. But you dream on, kid. Anyways, but you knew that something was up because they were actually in the hallway. Elias, and Byron Saxton were in the hallway, and behind them was Adam Pearce's office. MVP left, and Adam Pearce and MVP are very friendly as of late. You realize that? Like, who's really in charge of the show here? MVP or Adam Pearce? It's like, what the hell? Adam Pearce, just because MVP says jump doesn't mean you have to jump. You're the man who's in charge. It's very weird. But anyways, Elias Elias just said to him that, oh, I don't know. I don't know what it was. They were talking about some stuff. I can't remember the entire interview now that I'm thinking about it. But MVP basically said that, you're going to face the winner of the 2023 Royal Rumble. And I was like, wait a second. Bobby Lashley's going to wrestle twice tonight? That was my thought process at the time. And I'm like, okay, then. Elias said, okie dokie, then. He didn't say that, but you know what I mean. Elias accepted the challenge of whoever MVP is going to select as his, or whoever MVP was going to bring down to the ring. Next up was Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander for the Street Profits. Great to see Shelton Benjamin actually getting more time on screen. Loving to see that, but during the matchup, MVP did come down the ramp to actually try to assist, we'll shorten it down, call him the Hurt Business, to help the Hurt Business get the victory, but it didn't work out too well because the Street Profits still won the match. So I really don't know where this storyline is going, because like, if the goal was to get the Hurt Business back together, shouldn't Benjamin and Alexander should have won? But I guess that's the fun part. It's like, that would have been predictable, was for them to have won the match and then celebrate with MVP afterwards. So it's kind of nice to be like, okay, that's where I thought they were going to go, but apparently not. Ali was, or Ziggler was getting warmed up for his, for the main event matchup later on tonight, the 6-man elimination match. Ali confronted Dolph Ziggler, and I don't know what the fuck Ali's problem is, man. I mean, Dolph did not get a main event spot last week, and for some reason, Ali said, "So here you go again, Dolph, getting another shot, another spot handed to you at the main event." I was like, "What are you talking about? Dolph Ziggler hasn't been in the main event in what, years?" I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about, Ali." Anyways, Dolph Ziggler said, "Come on, Ali, you know that no one's handed anything here in the WWE. You got to earn everything." Then Dolph basically said, "I can't be focused on this right now." Ali, I think he hit Dolph Ziggler with a forearm, dropped Ziggler down to like a single knee, and then Ali was like, "Do I have your attention now?" And then I think they went to commercial. Next came up was Elias versus MVP's mystery man that he was going to bring out. And it was no mystery. It was Omos. And Omos wins. LOL. There you go. There's no. I know that you guys. I know that some people might be watching this after I've recorded live, but I think it's kind of funny the fact that when I mentioned Omos, someone just left the stream, and I don't blame them. Nobody wants to hear about Omos. But then they went to this weird segment. where Byron Saxon is now interviewing Adam Pearce. And Pierce is just like, I am so ready for the Raw of next week. It's our 30th anniversary, blah, 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 and whatnot. And Akira Tozawa comes in and he says, Adam Pearce, I want in the Royal Rumble. And then Adam Pearce had the audacity, the gall to actually say this to Akira Tozawa. Akira, nobody just gets put into the Royal Rumble. Everyone's got to earn their opportunity. I was like, wait a second. What? I was like, we just had Cody Rhodes saying he's coming back into the Royal Rumble. Liv Morgan has, entered herself in the Rumble. Raquel did the same thing among so many others. It's like, dude, I was like, that's not how it works. I was like, oh my fucking God. I was like, I can't believe you had the audacity to say that to me with a straight face. I was like, think of how many people over the years have just said, I'm in the Rumble. And they go in the Rumble. But Akira Tozawa wants in the Rumble, and they say, whoa, hold up now, my dog. He's like, you ain't in this Rumble. You got to earn your opportunity. If I was Akira Tozawa, I would have been bullshit. I would have told Adam Pearce that. Oh man, I actually accidentally skipped over something. So before Ali actually confronted Dolph Ziggler, that whole thing, Becky Lynch actually came out through the crowd. At first, they were playing Becky Lynch's music in her movie, her entrance movie, and then nothing happened. Like, it was a while before she actually started making her way down. I was like, wait a second, they told me Becky Lynch was here. I was like, is she not here? But she was making her way through the crowd. This promo, like, I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling anything with this promo here. Again, it was just Becky Lynch saying that you can't do anything without Dakota and Io by your side. It's like, you always need them. And I just wasn't feeling the vibes here between Becky Lynch and Bayley. Becky Lynch at a certain point called Bayley a Karen, and I got a small chuckle out of that. And then, Bayley, for some reason, took it so seriously. She's like, no. My name is Bayley. I'm not Karen. And Becky's like, no, there's like a Karen is someone who's got a stupid haircut and yells a lot or blah, 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 something like that. And Bayley, again, just like, maybe you don't understand it. I'm not Karen. I'm Bayley. I was like, dude, what is this promo that's starting off with? I was like, man. And then, anyways, I can't remember what they were talking about. They were saying how that, when the four horsewomen got called, the horsewomen got called up, that Becky Lynch went up, but Bayley didn't back in 2015. One of the biggest, I do remember this one. Becky said, you hit your peak in 2015, and you've been nothing ever since. And I was like, ouch. I was like, I don't know if that's sad but true, but I mean, I don't know if I would say that's true. I'd say that 2020 was a good year for Bayley. Her and Sasha were completely owning the women's division for the most part. But yeah, eventually Becky Lynch said, so you have no problem facing me next week? And Bayley's like, yeah. So you have no problem facing me next week without these two at your side? And Bayley goes, yeah. And she goes like, so you have no problem facing me in a steel cage match next week? And then Bayley paused and she's like, yeah. And then Becky's like, you sure? You sound a little bit questioned about that. And then Bayley's thing is so weird. It's like, it reminds me of how JBL calls everyone woke. And it pisses me off. Bayley just calls people idiots all the time. Mix it up. She said, she just said, I said, yes, you idiot. And I was like, you can call her a dummy or an idiot. I don't know, something, but Bayley's thing is just calling people idiots all the time. It just feels like she has no other insults whatsoever. Anyways, but then I remember this one. Kevin Patrick, oh, poor man, had the audacity. Another time someone had the audacity to say something stupid. He said that in this cage match, there'll be no chance for Dakota Kai or Io Sky to get involved. And I was like, dude, do you not watch the product? I was like, how many times did a steel, like, I hate, like, steel cage matches. They don't really mean anything, as, Like, I don't remember, cage matches when I was a kid, really, to be honest with you. But all the cage matches that really happen these days, 9 times out of 10, somebody gets involved. Case in point, The Miz was facing Bobby Lashley, correct me if I'm wrong, for the United States Championship, and Miz almost won, and then Dexter Lumis, slid under the ring and was like looking up at him from an awkward angle, and it was like it's not really, Dexter Lumis didn't get into the ring, but it was still a distraction somehow. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, cage matches don't mean anything. It's like you can claim they're to keep people out, but we all know the wrestlers still have the managers at ringside, and those, fucking wrestlers can get involved still. But let's go ahead, before I lose my train of thought here, is that later on in the show, Mia Yim faced Io Sky, and Candice LeRae and Mia Yim are doing I don't know if it's a tag team or if they're just allies right now in the war against Damage Control. So it could be a potential thing that we could see next week, that if Bayley gets in trouble, then if Io Sky and Dakota come down to try and help Bayley out in the steel cage, that we could see Mia Yim and Candice LeRae actually come out to stop them. So who knows? If they don't do that, if like Candice and Dakota just stay, Candice and Dakota, sorry, Candice and Mia Yim just stay in the back, then it's just like, wow, I guess Becky Lynch really just doesn't have any friends, or these people just, really don't care what Damage Control does unless it's done to them. Anyways, moving on. The Judgment Day faced Alpha Academy. This was after the whole Adam Pearce and Akira Tozawa segment that happened. Now, unfortunately, I didn't really see this matchup, but the Judgment Day won. Straight to the point. My my Hulu stream actually cut out when I was watching it, and so I was like, "Oh, okay, whatever." I was like, "You already know who's gonna win, anyways." So Mia Yim faced Io Sky. As I said, Candice LeRae actually came out with her, so finally, people actually are standing with people to fight off the numbers that teams have. That's the thing that drives me nuts. Is like, if you have problems with somebody, I don't care if you're not friends with somebody, but if you hate the other people so much, if you hate the other people so much, it's just like you want to be there to be a stop to their plans. So like Candice LeRae did there. I don't know if I don't think Mia Yim and Candice are like friends at all, but Candice came out to be in her corner to be a stop for Damage Control. Cut things short, Mia Yim won the match. The weird thing is they're calling her Michin, but yet, I mean, even Corey Graves is so confused. He said Michin, Mia Yim. It's like, which one is it? I was like, this is the problem. I was like, nobody knows. I was like, God. I was like, her entrance movie says Michin, but the freaking ring announcer said Michin, Mia Yim, or last week, I don't remember. It doesn't make sense. It's so frustrating. It's like, I hate the fact that they're calling her Michin enough as it is, but what makes it more frustrating is that the people who work for the company don't know what she's called. Is she Michin or Mia Yim? I mean, god damn. Anyways, after the matchup, Dakota Kai, attacked Mia Yim for winning the matchup, but Candice LeRae quickly shut that down and, sent Damage Control packing. And so eventually I predict that we're going to see Candice LeRae and Mia Yim take on Dakota Kai and Io Sky for the tag team titles. Whether that's coming next week or at the Royal Rumble, I don't know, but we'll see. Next up, Bianca Belair came back. She cut a promo. Nothing really much to this promo. Bianca said how she missed the fans and, that she, will face Bliss every single time. It doesn't matter. It was weird. It was extremely weird. She was like, I'll face Bliss even if she hits me over here again and again and again. And I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, okay. Bliss came out, and then this was so awkward. Like, she, said that at the Royal Rumble, and Bianca's like, let me stop you right there. And she says, let me guess, are you going to go into the Rumble and face 29 other women to face me at WrestleMania? And then she says, or do you want a shot at the Royal Rumble? And then in my head, I was like, well, Bianca, if you don't be rude and actually let, Bliss talk, she probably would have told you exactly what she was going to do. And I'm like, don't be rude. I was like, for fuck's sakes. I was like, she was just about to tell you her plan, and then you just rudely interrupt. I'm like, what the fuck? Anyways, Bianca says, Bliss says, I'll see you at the Rumble. And then Bianca says, you can see me then, and you can also see me now. Then they actually start to brawl, and then there was, who was this weird? You knew what was coming. It was so predictable, and it kind of irritated me a little bit. They eventually started like I said, they were brawling. Bliss sent Bianca over the barricade, and then she was just laying there, exhausted, crouching or kneeling, whatever you want to call it, in the corner of the barricade. And then Bianca slowly stood up. I was expecting her to wear an Uncle Howdy mask or somebody else to come up behind Bliss or something, but I'm like, okay, seriously? Anyways, they kept brawling. They were in the crowd at this point, and then Bianca was just kicking the shit out of Bliss here. So I don't really know how I feel about them facing each other again as the point. It's like, damn, I was like, Bianca just manhandled or woman handled Bliss. I was like, you really want me to, get excited for, this matchup? And I was like, we at least need to see Bliss do something. She was getting her ass kicked by Bianca. I was like, fuck, man. I was like, do something, Bliss. But anyways, Bianca then placed two steel chairs. They were like, this with each other were the steel chairs. I don't even know if they were steel chairs. They looked more like, not office chairs, not like the type that I sit in. I don't know how to describe them. Anyways, they were chairs. That's all that matters. She lifted Bliss up, and then she was going to go for the KOD across them. And then all of a sudden, smoke came up from this one side of where the in the crowd. I really don't know what to call it, but Uncle Howdy appeared, or if it even was Uncle Howdy, it was someone dressed as Uncle Howdy, but we have no idea if it actually was. All of a sudden, Bianca stops, and Uncle Howdy's just dancing. He's doing a weird dance, and it's not like how I'm dancing at all, but he's just doing this weird dance. I'm not even kidding. That's basically what it looked like. It wasn't like it was some creepy movement or anything. It was a weird dance. I was like, what the fuck? Anyways, Bianca stops, and then Bliss gets out and hits the DDT on Bianca. It looked pretty bad, the DDT, but, whatever. It's kind of hard to hit the DDT on the concrete floor like that, especially where all the fans are still. So, but anyways, Bliss looked at Uncle Howdy, and I thought that she was going to walk over to Uncle Howdy because then it would show a new partnership, giving Bianca more to fear. But that didn't happen. Bliss just walk off, cut to commercial. Akira Tozawa was in the ring trying to earn his opportunity at the Royal Rumble, because I guess you have to earn your opportunities to the Royal Rumble. So fucking stupid. And then Bronson Reed came out. I'll be honest, I was pretty much kind of fast forwarding because I was like, okay, look, I know how this matchup is going to end. I was like, I don't need to watch this shit. I was like, it was easy peasy. But I'll be honest, the matchup actually went a lot longer. I was having to fast forward a lot more than I was expecting. But in the end, the result was the same. Bronson Reed got the victory. And this can go either way here. When you're in a matchup like this and you're Bronson Reed, the more time you spend in the ring, it gives people more of a chance to really learn about your style of offense to anyone who's new to you. But at the same time, if you're going to be, labeled as I mean, it's not like this is his nickname, but if you're going to be labeled as someone like a destroyer, then you should probably beat your opponent within like 2 minutes. I mean, I'm all for letting the other wrestlers, get their shine on, but this was Bronson Reed's first match, and it's just like sometimes like they were just stalling for time. But whatever. Rollins had a backstage interview, and if ever we were wondering, is Rollins a babyface or a heel? Because it's not like Rollins really did anything to become a babyface again, but Rollins is definitely a babyface now. He was, acknowledging the crowd and saying how happy he is to be here, and hear the people sing the song, blah blah blah, stuff like that. But it's going to be quite the conundrum when Rollins is in the Rumble with Cody Rhodes. So you got to wonder, who is the crowd going to cheer for more? Are they going to sing Seth's song louder than chanting Cody's name, or is Cody's name going to be chanted even louder than Seth Rollins? That is the question. But what is the answer? Well, that answer can only be solved at the Royal Rumble. Then we had our main event of the evening. We had the six-man elimination matchup. And again, I thought this was going to be a gauntlet style like they had last week, but not all the wrestlers were in the ring. It was, let me go back to my notes there, because it is Lashley, Miz, Ziggler, Corbin, Balor, and Rollins in this six-man elimination matchup. So Ziggler and let's just go through it. Match happened. MVP eventually came down to the ring with Omos, and it was quite weird. Lashley was like, "What are you doing here?" It's like, so clearly Lashley, this wasn't part of a plan there. And I just shook my head when I saw Omos and freaking MVP walk out there. I was like, Lashley's clearly not happy to see them. I was like, are they really going to do another Bobby Lashley and Omos feud again? And I was like, come on, man. And I'm just like, and then I thought to myself, I was like, well, maybe Omos is there to help Bobby Lashley, win the elimination match. I was like, maybe that's the thing. Maybe somehow that's, how the Hurt Business gets back together in a way. And I was like, well, we got to wait to see. Eventually, it came down to Lashley and Rollins in the final two of the matchup. Omos actually, I can't remember. Omos, I think, sent Seth Rollins crashing over the table. Baron Corbin was looking over at Omos, and he's like, okay, I guess I'm not the enemy here. Corbin got back in the ring. Lashley speared Corbin 1, 2, 3. And then Omos, I don't remember why. I don't remember why it happened, but I remember Austin Theory actually walked up to Omos, and eventually Omos got him up for like a choke slam, was about to put Theory through the table. But this was actually pretty wise. Austin Theory actually just walked over the table, forcing Omos. He's a tall man, but he can't really stretch his arm too far. But he was trying to, hold on to Austin Theory, but Theory managed to escape through the grasp and actually held on to Omos's arm long enough for Rollins to actually hit the curb stomp onto Omos onto the table. Omos was, laid flat with his head like this here, so it was kind of funny to watch a little bit there. And I was like, holy shit, I was like some small teamwork by Austin Theory and Seth Rollins there. Eventually, that came to an end. Seth Rollins. I think now it kind of came back to me. Austin Theory hit Bobby Lashley with the U.S. title, and then Omos grabbed him for a choke slam. Sorry, I kind of reversed that a little bit there. And then I was like, wait a second, is Omos working with Lashley now? And I was like, okay. But then after the curb stomp from Rollins onto Omos, Rollins jumped off the table onto Austin Theory, sent Austin Theory over into the timekeeper's area, and then Rollins got back in the ring. Lashley hit him with a spear, 1, 2, 3. Match was over. Bobby Lashley is going to face Austin Theory for the United States Championship next week on Raw. And so I wonder where this whole thing with the Hurt Business is going down. Is Lashley going to be teaming up with Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin to stop MVP and Omos? Or, is this all a ruse to get us to be like, oh, Lashley doesn't want help from, the Hurt Business, but eventually in the end it does turn out that it was for the greater good for Bobby Lashley to get back in business with the Hurt Business. And I'm just like, well, what good has MVP done for Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander? I mean, sure, Bobby Lashley won, and a couple distractions helped by, or unintentional distractions by MVP and Omos helped out Lashley tonight. But what has the Hurt Business or MVP done for Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander? Nothing. They keep losing. And again, I can't remember if this wasn't the exact phrasing, but Kevin Patrick said, man, ever since joining Back Forces, Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander have really made a tear here and on Raw. Again, not the exact phrasing, but I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, they lost last week. I was like, they got eliminated pretty darn quickly. I was like, what are you talking about, Kevin Patrick? I was like, oh my God. I was like, dude. It's like, I can't believe you said that. I was like, what lines are they feeding you? So actually, I said this earlier on Twitter. I kind of criticized, whatever you want to call it, Triple H. I was like, man, you remember when Triple H first took over that we would get, announcements for Raw about what we can expect for next week for the card. And I was like, we haven't seen that in a while. And I was like, so when I'm doing my live streams here of trying to title what I'm, live streaming of Raw, I'm like, okay, what's supposed to happen tonight at Raw? When I checked tonight, I saw Bobby Lashley's going to be here. I was like, okay, that's expected. I was like, what else? I was like, Judgment Day and Alpha Academy are going to have a match. I was like, what else? What's happening on Raw? And nothing was announced. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I was like, there's nothing to pull people into this show. I was like, there's nothing that people are going to watch my live stream for, because Monday Night Raw has not announced anything. So I don't know what to put in the title. And I was like pissed off. And I was like, whatever, man. I was like, it's the same. It's get used to it. It happens, I guess. But actually, I will say this is that for the 30th anniversary of Raw that they're, making next week, they actually have a card announced. They set up matches for next week. Bayley and Becky Lynch in the steel cage match next week. Bobby Lashley taking on Austin Theory for the United States Championship. And the Judgment Day versus the Usos in a champ for the Raw Tag Team Champions, and the acknowledgement party for Roman Reigns, and that Kevin Owens will have something to say about that on Raw. And so they actually have announced some stuff for Monday Night Raw, so that's good. It gives me an ability to title my video. So that's it for the Raw review here, guys. The show was fine. And that's basically, how I describe most of the Raw shows. Nothing has made me mad, as of late. I'm not really mad at anything. I'm not really sad at anything, I guess, either. Of like, why are they doing this? It's just some of those stupid shit that some of them say. The show was just fine. The promos tonight, nothing really stood out to me. Everything promo-wise, people just sounded kind of bland. It wasn't anything really entertaining tonight. So was it a boring show? I wasn't yawning at all. I wasn't really I just wasn't really entertained really either. It was just a show. Um, I can tell you that I'm surprised about how much fans actually, care about Kevin Owens, how loud the fans actually were for Owens. Um, um, the only thing is that I'm upset that I skipped through was the 6-man elimination matchup. Just to see how that played out, but I was like a little bit behind on Raw, and I'm like, you know what? I was like, I messed up on doing the live stream today, so I'm like, it's just a review. I was like, we pretty much already know who's going to win it. I was like, more than likely, it's going to be Bobby Lashley. I was like, that's pretty much the only clear winner for this matchup is Lashley. Um, and so, but I mean, everything else was just, it was there, you know. Um, yeah, they went through announcing some of the cards for the Rumble, some of the stuff that we already know about Bray Wyatt and LA Knight, the Royal Rumble for the women and the men, Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens. Eh, you know, there wasn't really much to say about the show. Um, it was fine, I guess. You know, and my definition of fine is pretty much is just if you give me a show that doesn't make me mad, if you give me a show that doesn't leave me going, oh man, doesn't make me bored. It was just a fine show. You know, that's pretty much all I've got to say about it. So that's gonna do it, guys. Again, I want to apologize for not doing the live stream like I normally would. Um, I got home late, and by the time that I got home, I was like, you know what? I was like, why don't we just do a review show? I was like, I don't really want to rewind 15 minutes of Raw and then pick up from there. I was like, just not worth it. And so I just decided to do a review tonight. Um, so I mean, if you guys like the review, we could, do just the review instead of the live stream. That's totally up to you guys. If you want to leave that down in the comment section down below, go for that one. But anyways, guys, feel free to hit the like button if you feel that this video deserves it. You can leave a comment down below of whatever you want. Hit the subscribe button as we do. Um, so there is actually one thing. There is an announcement I would like to make. If you do not follow me on Twitter, you can follow me at heel_Lucas. But something new that we're doing is we are making a schedule for the YouTube channel. So Mondays we are going to do the Monday Night Raw live stream. Tuesdays we will be doing AEW Universe Mode. Wednesdays we have AEW Dynamite. Thursday we will have the Universe Mode again. Friday we have SmackDown and Rampage that we do, including Battle of the Belts for AEW whenever they do that. Saturdays and Sundays I will be more taking a break. Sometimes I might live stream for Saturdays and Sunday for the Universe Mode if I feel like it. But mostly I'm going to make sure that I put, time in on the weekends to make sure that I go to the gym so I can continue my workouts for that. As 2023 is a big deal for me to really make a change for myself, as I made some progress in 2022 of losing weight, and I just want to keep on with the process of, making sure to do that by going to the gym as much as I can. Now, of course, when it comes to pay-per-views, we will be live streaming on the weekends for that. There are special occasions for that. But that is the schedule going forward. Again, Monday for Raw. Tuesday will be streaming for AEW Universe Mode. Wednesday for Dynamite. Thursday Universe Mode. Friday SmackDown and Rampage. And then the weekends are my days off from YouTube. Um, um, so there's that. There's the update on the channel a little bit there. Nothing major, but just so you guys are aware of what's going down. So yeah, we will be doing. It is pretty much a weekly, or it's almost like every day that will be still live streaming for the channel. But I want to make sure that I make sure to give myself to give myself a break so that way I make sure and stay focused on staying in the gym. And I'm not a vlogger, so I don't really go and put my phone somewhere and then show myself lifting in the gym or whatnot. So you're not gonna see shit like that on this channel. Um, anyways, that's gonna do it, guys. Again, I apologize that this week was a little bit weird. We started things off with me not doing a live stream for Raw. I will live stream for Dynamite. Um, but again, I just got home late for Raw, and I'm just gonna shut the fuck up so I can get to bed. So, that's gonna do it, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and hope you have a great rest of your night. And take care, mi amigos.